everybody, it's Lon.TV, and the folks from Roku have shrunk their set-top box down to this tiny little stick. This is called the Streaming Stick, and it's about the size of a Chromecast, but much more functional. It's very inexpensive. It's under $50. You just plug it into the back of your television like this onto an active HDMI port. You can use your television's USB port to power it. I think they have a version that will support the power over HDMI, but I bought this one just because I know that I'm going to be using it on a bunch of different televisions and wanted the flexibility. So if you don't have a USB port available, you can get, or it comes with a little 1 amp USB power adapter for that purpose. And once you plug it in, it boots up. I have mine already booted, but typically the boot time is about a minute or two, and you get up to the front screen here. The remote, thankfully, does not have infrared on it. It is radio controlled because your Roku is going to sit behind your television bezel most likely, so you're able to control it without having to have a line of sight to it, which is really nice. The controller pairs up very quickly. It doesn't support the games and all the other stuff that some of the more advanced Rokus do, but what it does do quite well is video streaming, and we're going to look at 3 different things. So I'm not going to go through all the Roku menus and all that stuff. This is a Roku, and I've been using it for the last couple hours. It is just as good as a Roku set-top box, maybe a little bit slower as far as loading up apps and video and whatnot, but beyond that, it works great for the standard Roku things. But we're going to look at our 3 advanced functions. The first is we're going to stream a Blu Ray MKV over DLNA on our local network. In other words, you can use this almost as a home theater device. You can have your server set up, hit your DLNA server with this, and play movies without any compromises, including surround sound that'll get passed directly to your receiver. And I am really impressed with that. And I'll show you how that works. We're going to look at Plex, which I know a lot of you are interested in. And we're going to look at how the iPhone app works with the device as well. So there's a fully functional iPhone app that you can toss video to from that app to display on the screen. So without further ado, we're going to jump into that Blu-ray function first. So we're here at the main menu. We're going to click over to our Roku, and I'm going to go over to the My Channels section here. And what you need to do is download these channel apps ahead of time. And when you set it up, you're going to have a website that you can go onto, and you can pick out which channels you want. Channels are basically apps in Roku world, and most of them are free. There's some that are paid. Some you might have to have a separate subscription for. So for example, like Spotify or Amazon or HBO Go. Now, we're going to load up the Roku Media Player, which is free. You have to download it first. And this is basically a DLNA client, and it's probably the best DLNA client I have ever used. So if you wanted a stick that does DLNA and plays most of what you're going to throw at it, this is going to be the device for you. Now, what I've got here is just a bunch of stuff on my network. So we have the Plex server, which we're going to actually connect directly with its app in a minute. But we also have my tablet here, a whole bunch of other stuff. But I keep my movies on my WD My Cloud, so we're going to pop over there. We're going to go to videos and pop into my album folder here, and you can see how fast this works too. This is over Wi-Fi. I do recommend that you have like a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi and you have it nearby, because especially when you start pushing Blu-ray data over the network, you're going to want to have a really good connection there. So that's really important. I'm just going to scroll over to Star Trek, and what I do is I don't like to have discs floating around. When I want to watch a movie, I want to hit the button and watch it. I want to watch it in full quality. So I've got this WD My Cloud. I've got all my movies on there. And if I want to watch Star Trek here, I can just navigate to that movie. I can hit resume. What's really cool is that it remembers where I left off, so I don't have to, it keeps a bookmark, so I don't have to, try to fast forward back to where I left off with it. And it takes a minute. There's a little bit of buffering that goes on, and I need to maybe optimize my wireless network a little bit more. I think what I'm going to do actually is create a separate wireless network just for the Roku that I'll have wired in. Again, you can't hook Ethernet up to this. It's strictly wireless. But you can, on some of the set-top box versions, you can, of course, hook it up to Ethernet. So we'll let this buffer up real quick here. And I purposely have this zoomed out so I don't get thrown off YouTube in the process here. And there you go. We've got the movie right where we left it off. I let this run initially for about a half hour, and I was able to watch this without a problem. It just is flawless. And because I take my Blu-rays and don't transcode them, it is the exact mirror image of the movie that I purchased, and it's working wonderfully. Now, if you want digital surround sound passed through to your receiver, that works too. So what I did is unplugged it from the television. I popped it into my home theater receiver, and it was working with DTS audio, Dolby Digital, the 7.1 channel digital sound. It just takes whatever audio it has, doesn't send it to the television, but passes it directly to your receiver. So you get essentially almost a home theater PC in this tiny little stick. And as you can see here, this is working. And I am just completely amazed by this. So this is going, I'm going to buy a couple more of these actually to kind of finish up some projects around the house here. So that is really, really impressive. Now another thing that works really well on here is Plex. And I know, like I said, a lot of you are interested in Plex. We've done a lot of Plex reviews on my videos about the HD home run. So I use Plex a lot with my iPad and my iPhone. And what it'll do here is there's an app for Plex, and we can go pop into my media folder here, I believe is where I keep all this stuff. Yep. And I'm going to go find my Walking Dead episode from the other night, if I can remember which one it was here, and pop it up. I did find that some stuff was not working as well as other things did, so I'm not sure why that was, but the Walking Dead that I recorded the other night using my Windows Media Center worked just fine. And just like the DLNA stuff, it remembers where I left off, so it's going to, again, go back and stream that up from my Plex server, and off we go. So pretty cool. What more can you say? Now, what's neat about the Plex stream is that it is also taking that Dolby Digital surround and passing it to my home theater system. If I have it plugged directly into the receiver, and this worked great. In fact, I got the full digital sound, no delay. Everything was working really, really well. So I have to say, this is really for a home theater PC replacement. It's pretty much there. And I think what I might actually do now is maybe pick up the Roku 3, which is their higher end device. It's about twice as much, but that's like the set-top box with a little bit more processing power. And I think it has an Ethernet port also, so it might stream up a little bit faster too. So I'm going to take a quick break though, and we're going to hook our iPhone up to our video system here and show you how the iPhone app works. All right, we've got the app loaded up. I've got it on my phone here, but I also have a larger version in the corner so you can see how it looks. And basically, it's pretty good. It's a basic, remote control that you've seen on other devices, but they also have some other neat things that kind of improve the workflow. One is you can get all of your channels on the phone. So it knows what channels you have loaded onto the Roku, and you can just click on it here or tap on it and load it up. Now this is, while Netflix is loading, I'll point out, one of the flaws of a little device like this one is that you don't get very fast loading times. So you saw with the video, it's sometimes, especially those Blu-rays, it takes a while for it to kind of get up to par. The Netflix app takes a long time to load. I think it's probably on the order of 30 or 40 seconds. So it's not as snappy as it would be on your mobile device or on even perhaps Roku's more higher end set-top boxes. But it does load. It just takes a while to get there. And the movies, sometimes the video takes a little bit of time to spin up as well. So one little caveat there, but I think there's a small price to pay to have something so small on the back of your TV that works as well as this does. So I'm not too upset about that. The other things that it can do is it can stream video from your photo roll, so videos, music, whatever that you have stored on your phone. You can pass along to the Roku, just kind of like you would with an Apple TV with the AirPlay feature. So here's a video that I shot of my daughter. And we're just tossing it over Wi-Fi to the Roku. And again, it takes a little bit of time for things to spin up, but once it gets going, you've got full HD and a really quick way to get everything working. So that is the Roku Streaming Stick, and wow, what an impressive little device. I can't say enough about this thing. It had me at the Blu Ray MKV feature. The fact that I can plug this into my home theater receiver with a good Wi-Fi connection, be able to stream movies over my home network and pass that home theater digital audio onto the receiver properly with DTS or Dolby Digital. Really, really impressive. That is not something I've seen at a price point this low or a device this simple. So that alone had me. But I also like the fact that the Plex works as well as it does, and the fact that it's a full-fledged Roku and it supports all the other apps as well. So if there are more things you want me to try, send me a note and I will be more than happy to do some follow-up videos on that, because I think this is going to be something we'll be looking at again in the near future. This is Lon and this is the Roku Streaming Stick. Thanks for watching.